Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. How are you today? Welcome back to the JKWD podcast. Hope you are doing fantastic today. I don't know why I'm speaking in choppy, staccato sentences. I could just stop that
I
right
guess
now.
you're practicing your music skills.
I guess so. How are you today, Kelvin?
I'm doing pretty good today, Mr. Shear. Actually,
Awesome.
if I was going to be totally honest and transparent, I'd say that I went through a little fog for a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
Some stuff going on, but I have emerged on the other side of the fog. I can now turn the headlights off because I had clear vision ahead of me, and life is wonderful,
Sweet.
as evidenced by the fact that I'm breathing and talking and telling my phone not to ring.
Very good.
Good stuff. How about you?
Doing great. I started when I got on the call. You might have noticed that I was a little lagging.
Well, it seemed to be a little
in
sluggish
energy, but I'm bouncing back. Normally I take my long runs on Saturdays, but I took mine today, Friday. Is our recording day, so that we could, my wife and I could celebrate our anniversary, and I wouldn't have to be in bed at 9 o'clock, so that I could get up to run early before work. And 6 years ago, Kelvin, you shot one of the most fun weddings in the history of the planet. Yeah.
This is the day, huh?
Yeah.
Man, that was one of the most fun weddings on the planet.
Yeah, it was.
I wish we'd have done video.
But Jenny and I are going to celebrate today with. We put together a nice charcuterie plate last night for consumption today, and then we are going to throw some ginormous steaks on the grill. She told me that growing up, she used to like to take big portions on small plates. So I went out and I found us a couple of bone-in tomahawk ribeyes.
Yes.
Which we will be serving on saucers. These things are the weight they estimated at 36 to 40 ounces, and they have basically a whole rib in them. So the bone's about 1.5 feet long, and the meat's as big as my head.
Yeah, you sent me a picture that you could take that. I mean, if you decide to get angry or something, you could use that as a baseball bat to slug somebody, and then still wash. Wow.
Yeah, so we're gonna put those on the grill with a couple of lobster tails and enjoy some surf and turf today.
Awesome! Well, congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. But I've had a shift in mindset with the running this week. I forgot. I've done this race that I signed up for in November 3 times now with this training plan, and I always forget the first half of it just feels awful. And it's not the distance. It's shorter distances early, but the fact that I'm doing them in July and August means that it is usually just stupid hot and humid out.
Yeah.
And considering that I'm usually working until 2 or 3 in the morning, some days I don't get out until 9:30, 10 o'clock. And the heat indexes are over 100, 105. But this week I hit that I hit that peak terrible on Tuesday, and I wound up. Tuesday's run was 5 miles, and it took me an hour and just under an hour 20, and I think I walked most of the last 2 miles. I think at one point, I just stopped and took my phone out and texted my wife and said, "I'm gonna be another half hour." And then Wednesday, I had 5 again, and I'm using Whoop as a sleep and recovery tracker,
Right.
And I woke up and it said, you are 24% recovered. So I knew that it wasn't going to be a good day. So what I did was I planned for that. And I did it. I did my 5 miles, an average of 1:36 faster than I did the day before.
Okay.
And then I got up this morning and my strap said, hey, you are 94% recovered. I said, really? Let's go for it today. And I took another minute per mile off for 6 miles. And, okay.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know, I'm still not fast. I'm still taking more than 13 minutes a mile. But the fact that I'm doing it and not freaking out about
but
it.
I need to be driving to do that. That 13-minute mile thing. So you're doing all right.
You can get about 4.5. It's about 4.5 miles an hour. So you'd have to be driving real slow.
It's been, well, I've never been good with math either, so could be that.
But still,
could be that.
So I had a little mindset shift there and said, okay, just if I can understand that until Labor Day, I'm just going to have to deal with it. Don't look at the numbers. Just get your distances in because it's time on the road, not how fast you're doing it. Mm-hmm. Things will get a lot easier once the temperature starts to drop. Anyway, that was a long way around to saying, hey, I'm doing pretty good today.
Well, nobody's ever accused us of being energy efficient in speech.
Yeah, correct.
So there you go. So, well, congratulations. I'm not running. Every once in a while I think about, I can run. And then I say, but walking around the neighborhood is such a cool thing. And
if you ever really get the I should run itch, mm-hmm. Just stand up, do 20 jumping jacks and 10 push-ups, and then decide if you really want to run.
Well, that was work.
Right. 20 jumping jacks and 10 push-ups will take you 45 seconds.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll work that out.
And you'd be like, no, that was enough. That was good. I'm happy now. I could, anytime I get the urge to run, I can just
do that. Yeah.
Do a few jumping jacks.
Well, I got to admit, for somebody, I am extremely fortunate, in my opinion, or depending on your orientation there, you might say I'm extremely blessed. I'm in really good health, and I haven't done a lot intentionally to create it, right? So I gotta have some appreciation for that. So I try not to destroy myself intentionally to see if I have the ability, but I could probably give a little more care. My daughter just started teaching yoga around the world. I have a feeling that's coming up in my life.
Okay, it's not a bad thing to hop on, especially since you can do it online. I use every now and then Runner's World has they did a yoga for runners series. I turn on one video and
oh really?
I'm good. 25 minutes. I'll get my stretch on.
I should turn you on to my daughter's show, man, because she started teaching nobody wants to know this, but I'm telling you anyway. She started actually she did this 200-hour yoga certification class.
Yeah, they don't joke around.
And I forget what she told me she paid for that. But when she got done with that, she was connected with some people, and she ended up, when she registered in this one group, she ended up connecting with a young lady who was in Abu Dhabi, strangely enough, who, all the talk about putting more diversity in the things that you do and stuff like this. Anyway, she was like, hey, I see you doing this, and, I've got this group, and we're doing this around the world, and I'd love to add some more diversity in my group. Would you consider taking a look at us and see if we're somebody you wanted to be affiliated with? Well, she did and fell in love with them, and now she's doing yoga and she's teaching people like around the world, man. People are tuning in from England and all kinds of countries, and she's already got people who are in love with her. And this is on the heels of just finishing up that certification, and she is so wired and energized, and she's still got time to be a teacher. She teaches school. She's an adjunct professor at college. I could learn something from her. We're going to work on the yoga thing though first, because she's already made the family sign up in our own little family group here so that she can like get to us. So I'm like, yoga is definitely in my future, so we know it's coming.
Good.
So anyway.
Good. Yeah. My here, just a smidge of advice.
Yeah.
Don't look at what she does and then look at what you do and think they're the same thing, but also don't think they should be the same thing.
Got it. Yeah.
Because I watch these instructor, I follow the videos and I'm like, nope. I will go in that direction, but not that far.
That's right. My leg is not getting behind my head on that one. No, boy, forget that. So yeah.
But I started following all these Instagram accounts of people who make me uncomfortable or who do things that would make me uncomfortable. The people don't make me uncomfortable.
Right.
People who like run along mountain ridges and people who do like handstands on overlooks.
Yeah, I'll be healthier at a lower level than them. I'll be okay.
Yeah.
So,
I'm happy just my shaded running on my little shaded cul-de-sacs over here and
what I have to do for now.
Maybe doing some yoga in my living room where nobody can see me.
That's it. Hey, you know what?
What?
We've almost had a whole podcast and we don't have a sponsor yet today.
Well, we are brought to you today by Vitamin K Daily. Get your daily dose of positive from the Prince of Positive himself. Wake up 5 days a week to an email that tells you how awesome you are or how awesome your day is going to be, or both for that matter. Go get yourself 4 weeks free at vitaminkdaily.com. No spaces, just vitaminkdaily.com. You don't need me to spell that out for you, I'm sure. Vitamin K as in Kelvin, daily.com. 4 weeks free. Hey, let them know that you found that out here. And let's play some music. Podcast, where we talk about better humanhood and teach you how to dominate your world. You ready? Here we go.
Oh, that was fun. I enjoyed that. Thank you very much.
Hey, we actually touched on, during that long session, what we're really going to talk about today, right?
Yes, yeah.
About if it is in fact true that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, think about what you want and spend time with people who have that.
Exactly.
Right. So you said people falling in love with your daughter who's teaching yoga.
Yep.
Well, you want that love surrounding you. You gotta connect yourself
with yoga
people
mat.
who have that love. Yeah. and a yoga mat doesn't hurt.
Yes. Yeah.
If you want an overthought, cynical view of everything, I'm your guy right here. Hang out with Josh. He's got, people people tell me how much they wish they had my brain, and I warn them about that. and if you want to be that positive, happy guy that everybody wants to be around, hang around with Kelvin some more. Yeah.
Yes,
Um,
I have goodness to spare.
but in general, if you want to be like somebody or have something that that person has, spend some time with them, and surround yourself with people who have the things you want. If you
And learn how
can't
to do that.
change the people around you, change the people around you.
Way back in the day when I first started learning about being, more successful and so forth, I used to hang out with Tony Robbins. I'm sorry, not physically, but I've read his books. I've listened to his audios and stuff. And Tony talks about a thing. I'm going to lie right now. I was going to say mirroring. Mirroring is a little different. But the thing is, if you want to develop the mindset that someone has or whatever they have, then you learn to do what that person did, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what you find out in the long run is that typically the person who has what you think you want, not only do they have a certain energy about it, they have a certain mindset about it, they have a certain work ethic about it, and they think about it in certain ways. So if you get with that person, whether it's through a book or having them as a mentor, and learn what they did to get where they went, then you can do that. A long time ago, as quiet as it's kept, I used to be a fairly negative guy. I'm not sure where I got it. Yeah. I'm not sure where I got it. Or maybe it was a time in my life when things weren't going well and I was just negative. The people they look at me now and they go, "Oh, you're always so positive. You did it." I wasn't always that guy. So I started hanging around with people I was noticing people who were happy. What gives them the right to really be happy? What is wrong with that? Especially when, a lot of them weren't rich. They were just people living normal lives, happy to be breathing every single day. I'm like, I like that. And then I started reading some stuff. I started reading stuff like Psycho-Cybernetics, and I read ways that we convince ourselves that we are, we've got what we deserve and stuff like that. And I found out where I picked Psycho-Cybernetics talks about, you can really, and that's by Maxwell Maltz, Maltz, I believe. Great stuff that they put out. But it talks about the all-time great killer of progress, and whether or not you have a mindset that's going to let you do something else. And as soon as the words come out of your mouth that say, "I am what I am," you're locked in where you are, because you have just said, "This is who I am. This is what I believe. I'm not planning on changing it. There's nothing you can do about it." Tony Robbins calls that the Popeye response. I am what I am. And I heard myself saying that a couple times. And then it's like, but I don't have to be that, because I know people who are happy, and I know people who are doing things. And I even knew people who weren't even necessarily having a perfect day, but they were happy anyway. So how do you get on that sauce that doesn't involve, drugs? So I started reading and I started listening. And the first book I read that did anything for me about that. I talk about the 3 books that changed my life, right? Mm-hmm. And for some strange reason, Psycho-Cybernetics is not in those top 3 books. But yet and still, it is the first book I actually read that got me moving towards the other one. And they're talking about pure brain science back there, back before they had the names on it that they have right then, and the things that the subconscious mind does. And it's just amazing, because one of the things you first have to do is admit, first of all, that you want to change,
Mm-hmm.
and then that you can change. And while it is true that we all have things that have happened in our lives that we can use to substantiate any place where we are. We can talk about why I'm this, why I feel this way, why my attitude is this. What we can all, that Tony Robbins calls that putting legs on your stool, so you don't topple over. We can all find those things for ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
But then the question is, do I want something different? Do I want something different? And when you get to that, is where your point comes in. Find somebody who's got it and find out what they do.
Yeah,
And that's what I did, and I became a pretty happy person for the most part in life.
and we're in such a time right now, where we've got two things working for us. One, we've all been quarantined at this point for 4.5 months.
Yeah.
So you probably really haven't hung out with your buddies that much. And if you were feeling like you weren't getting what you needed from your friends group, you got a great chance to just reset right now. We're also at a time in like the history of technology
Mm-hmm.
where it's easy to take in somebody's essence without having to be there, right?
Right.
And even without their active involvement, right? You want to be like Tim Ferriss, he's got 6 books out and 450 podcast episodes or something. Just go hang out with Tim. Like, you can immerse yourself in thousands of hours of audio and read for 100 hours or whatever, and you get the idea, right? That's what Think and Grow Rich was, right? People look at the title still and go, oh, that'll never happen. You can't just think and grow rich. But Napoleon Hill went out and he talked to people, and he got the essence of a lot of the most successful people in the world. So you can just read this book and get a little bit of everybody, and then you can go deeper into their lives, because all that stuff is available online. Like, you don't even have to go to the library anymore. I don't know about your library, but my library's got a couple of apps that they work with.
Oh yeah.
I borrowed from the library a copy of Good Omens on
I'm sorry, the copy what?
Good Omens.
Okay.
By Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett, and I got on the list for a new community called Persuasion, and Garry Kasparov, the chess champion,
Mm-hmm.
Ran a Zoom book club on Good Omens. So, like, I was on a Zoom call with Garry Kasparov last week, talking about this book. Yeah, and I didn't have to leave the same chair I'm sitting in here talking to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of world we live in right now.
Because everybody who's done anything, well, not everybody, but enough people have.
Yeah.
They have drawn their blueprint for us to follow the steps that they did, including the mindset, including the rationale that they use to do certain things, including their reasoning for doing things a certain way. So we have the entire blueprint from, at this point, probably Millions. Well, let's just make it hundreds of thousands of people.
Well, we have the actual blueprint for a lot of people, right? And then
Yeah.
And then we have the like reported blueprint, right? Like Thomas Edison didn't show all his work, but there have been enough people in the last 150 years who have uh, written a lot about Edison, going deep into parts of his life, and you can sit in your chair and order the books on Amazon, or you can read some of the books just online on your computer and not have to go anywhere, right? You can just become part of that world and that life and get the things that you want out of there.
Yep. And I did that, and I'm a way happier guy today than I was back in the beginning. I've been pretty happy for the last several years. I got a lot of people who think, oh, you're always positive. No, I'm not. But when I'm not, you don't see me, because there's a really short list of people who get access to me when I'm in that place. And those are people I trust implicitly, and they know it's temporary. And most of them have permission to slap my switch and say, okay, well, you drained enough of that battery. Let's get your stuff back together. And you are one of them.
Thank you.
So there you go. So I you're one of the five people.
And I'm probably the last one you go to, because you know that before I let you refill that battery, I finished draining it for you.
You've had your days. It's been a good week for you. Yeah. But it's okay. But we've got longevity. We've been through the cycles of each other's stuff. Mm-hmm. So we know each other, and I know what I like, what I don't like. I know most of what you don't like. I know ways that can immediately get your beard on fire, and I try to stay away from those if I can. Sometimes
Well, but sometimes.
But sometimes you need to.
Sometimes we need that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you need to. One of the things that I've done in my life is, and I tell people, I'm one of the few people I know who has actually evaluated my beliefs to find out, is that really what I believe? Because a lot of people believe things because somebody told them it a long time ago. That was horrible English, but you get the point.
Yeah, well,
somebody
usually
gave them that viewpoint a long time ago.
Yeah, usually it's inherited.
Yeah, and they have never examined it to find out, what, does this actually make sense in my life? Is this the real truth that I want to live by? And for the most part, I have actually examined my belief. Some of them made sense to me, and I kept them. Some of them didn't.
It's real comfortable to just keep them because you had them.
It is. But are they really allowing you to do the work that you want to do in the world?
All right. I think the phrase we're looking for is manufactured adversity.
Ooh, I like that.
That sometimes you have to come up with a challenge, and you have to just see yourself through the challenge. If yes. The world has allowed us to become comfortable and stay that way.
Uh-huh.
And it's not how we evolved to be where we are.
Not. This world was not created by status quo.
No, there are people, pushing the boundaries of possibility.
Mm-hmm.
But it's you don't have to do that to get uncomfortable. You don't have to. You don't have to be building rocket ships that you hope will land on meteors and pull out rare minerals and fly them back to Earth.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need that skill set, and you don't need that funding to make yourself just a little uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
You can try a new food or walk a little further than you're used to.
What are you trying to say? I'm sorry. You weren't looking at me specifically.
I was. In fact, I wasn't even looking into the camera. I was
What
looking
does it say?
over there.
What does it say? If the food, well, never mind.
Well,
anyway, yes, absolutely.
And if you heard that and thought it was about you, then I guess it's about you, and you should.
Apparently, I have an awareness to deal with. Yes. So anyway, so that's it. So how do we wrap this puppy up? Really.
So to sum up, if you want something, go find the people who have it, figure out how they got there, and do it. And if you're able to spend time with them, spend time with them. And if you're feeling a little too comfortable, but you don't have what you want, manufacture some adversity. Sound about right?
Sure, that sounds.
Did I hit all the points?
I think you got that.
Okay, jkwdpodcast.com for show notes for this and all the other 216 episodes. Wow, this is episode 217. That's crazy.
Wow, yeah.
And vitaminkdaily.com. Go get your 4 weeks free and then just 9.5 cents a day.
Paid annually.
And we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for listening. Show notes and more at jkwdpodcast.com. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share with your friends, and we will see you next week. Bye!
A Better Humanhood production.